Raymond just told me that Tim Hardaway broke his 5th metatarsal, and I just want to say how sorry we are to hear that. You hate to see anybody get injured, and it's just want to send him our regards from the organization, and hopefully he's back, sometime soon. I don't know what the prognosis is, but we feel terrible for him. Questions?
Luka will find a way to score, but what do you think about the way your defense put the clamps on everybody else on the way to holding them to 35% from the field?
Yeah, the defense was active. I felt like the game was tied together, really well. We played well at both ends, and when you play well offensively, you tend to put your defense in a good position, and vice versa. You get stops and you get rebounds and you get out in transition, and the offense is more likely to flow. So it's a really good two-way game for us, and feel like these last couple of weeks we've been kind of grinding and just hoping to get out of the mud, and tonight felt kind of cleansing. Like, okay, we're right again, but we got to prove it by having another good game on Thursday.
How positive a step was it from just kind of a balanced scoring perspective? You have Clay in the lineup, but he's getting shots, Jordan is, and just the balance perspective. Yeah, the balance was great. Jordan as the 6th man, having a really good scoring night. Clay just playing a Clay Thompson game, just clean, moving the ball, taking the open shots, not forcing anything, making a couple of great moves to the basket, but then, moving the ball on. And I thought everybody really did a good job of just, spacing the floor and moving it on to the next guy. And we got a lot of really good looks.
Clay had like 3 behind the back passes, and he was throwing up the vision goggles for himself. What does having him as a facilitator and a playmaker and a passer just bring to this team? Well,
he's such a good shooter that people have to honor him out beyond the 3-point line, and he's big and strong, so he can get into the paint and get by people, especially when they're closing out on him. So he can attack that closeout, and with the floor spaced and him finding people, just makes the game a lot easier.
Steve, Steph seemed to work inside out tonight rather than outside in. Did you see that? Was that something he did different, or was that the plan, or is it just the flow of the game?
That's the plan. If Steph is no longer a 3-point shooter, he's just, we're gonna really look to get the ball to him in the paint and maybe turn him into a back to the basket player.
But he honed in on his mid-range game, and then he kind of pulled out a little bit.
He's been great. The last few games, I said it, the other day, he's actually playing really well. The 3-point shot hasn't been going in, but he's making mid-range shots. He's getting the ball into the paint. He made some brilliant passes. He had 7 assists. He rebounds so well for a guard. He's doing everything for us, and pretty encouraging that we can have a game like that without Steph lighting it up from 3. So we know that's going to come, and it's just a matter of time. But in the meantime, he's playing great, so we're not worried about anything.
Steve, Clay had a couple of those passes to Kuminga late in the fourth. I mean, how much does Clay's playmaking that way do for you? And are you surprised those two have already clicked so easily after not having much time together yet?
Well, I think this was Clay's best game in terms of just his patience and allowing things to happen. He wasn't forcing it at all. And because the floor was spaced and we had a good flow to our game, Jonathan was able to use his athleticism and his speed and free himself up. And you can see just how powerful he is as an athlete, how explosive. And it's fun to see that connection happen. And that transition dunk was just spectacular.
You, I think, said during the TNT broadcast that you're trying to avoid having Clay ride the bike for such long stints at a time, and you did kind of change up his rotation. What what are you guys looking to do with those minutes in rotation moving forward?
We're just trying to avoid having him, not play for 45 minutes of actual time. So tonight we just had him play the first 6 minutes of the first and second quarters. And I felt like there was a better rhythm to it. His minutes restriction was moved up to about 25. So second half, we were planning on maybe, 3 shorter runs, but because the game was in control, we decided to let him go so he could just find his rhythm and keep playing. And so we'll just try to do a better job of, helping him find his rhythm by playing him in shorter spurts, but with fewer long breaks.
Quick follow-up. I'm assuming his knee is feeling all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, his knee is fine.
You had a stretch of the game where you had both Steph and Andrew on the bench, and basically Jordan and Clay took their place, and JP played alongside those 3 guys. I mean, it looked like Jordan really kind of found something with that threesome out there in the backcourt, and Clay was on the wing actually, like Wiggs would be. But just what was the purpose behind kind of getting those guys out there together, and what you like from what they saw?
Well, we've been looking forward to trying to get them, on the court together, just because of the playmaking and the shooting. The last month or so, as we've struggled offensively, people have really loaded up on Steph, and we haven't been able to play lineups like that. And so to get those 3 on the floor together, you got great spacing, great shooting, playmaking, the ability to put the ball on the floor, and they'll make defenses pay for overloading towards Steph, and that's really helpful.
Hey, Steve, I understand the point you made the other day about rookies and the up and down nature of things. But when you see the kind of game that Kuminga had tonight and the one he had in Chicago, what sort of things do you see that show what he could become? Well,
the athleticism and the explosion is obvious for anybody to see. That kind of physicality, in theory, allows him to guard any spot on the floor. And so what we're working with him on every day is defensive responsibilities at different positions, different schemes, what his responsibilities are if he's guarding the ball, if he's guarding the screener, if he's guarding the weak side low man. They're all different responsibilities, and he has to learn them all. And so one of the reasons we've brought him along slowly is he's got to learn those things before we can really trust him to play big minutes. And in my mind, it's a really organic, natural way to bring a young player along. And rather than just hand him minutes, he's got to earn them by making the right plays and the right reads.
What did obviously the stat line was good, but what did you like from Jordan's game coming off the bench today?
Well, if he can attack the way he did tonight and be aggressive while coming off the bench, it gives us more punch, with that second unit when Steph is off the floor. But then if we can mix him in with Steph and Clay as well, like we did, then it gives us another lineup combination that's a totally different look to what teams have been used to seeing. So I think it could be a great role for him, but he has to grow comfortable in it. And tonight was a good sign that he'll be able to do that. Thank you.